Ladies and gentlemen, there is a principle in life that many overlook because the noise of the world has deafened their ability to perceive it. We live in a time where people believe that if they aren't speaking, pushing, and fighting, they will be forgotten. But I have come to tell you that silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is power. It is alignment with the natural flow of divine timing. You see, the greatest things in life do not arrive with noise. The sun does not shout when it rises, yet it dominates the sky. The tree does not demand the rain, yet the rain finds it in season. The river does not force its way to the ocean, yet it reaches there without fail. There is a divine order, a spiritual law that governs the movements of the universe, and when you align yourself with it, everything you desire will come to you naturally. We have been conditioned to believe that speaking, striving, and struggling are necessary for success. But I am here to challenge that thinking. The wise understand that some things must be received, not pursued. Some blessings require stillness, not struggle. Some victories are won in silence, not in speech. That is why today I want to share with you the power of staying silent and allowing things to flow into your life as they were meant to be. Silence is the posture of trust. When you remain silent in a world full of noise, you are making a statement that is more powerful than words. You are saying, I trust the process. You are saying, I am not moved by what I see because I know what is coming. You are saying, I do not need to shout for what already belongs to me. Silence is not inactivity. It is active trust. It is a declaration of faith in the unseen. Look at nature. The seed does not complain when it is buried. It does not resist the darkness of the soil. It does not beg for sunlight or scream for water. It simply rests because it knows that the process is working for it. The soil is not its enemy, it is its nourishment. The darkness is not its prison, it is its preparation. The seed understands something we often forget. Everything it needs is already being provided. So it remains still, it does not fight, and yet in due time it rises. This is the principle of silence. When you trust, you do not panic. When you believe, you do not rush. When you know who holds your future, you do not need to force your way forward. Too many people fail to receive what is meant for them because they cannot remain silent long enough to let it come. They shout when they should be still. They chase when they should be attracting. They fight battles that were never meant to be fought simply because they have not yet understood the power of trust. Silence is not about weakness. It is about wisdom. The eagle does not flap its wings endlessly to soar. It waits for the wind, and when the time is right, it rises effortlessly. The wise do not fight every battle. They wait for the right moment. They understand that not every reaction requires a response. Not every challenge demands an argument. Sometimes the greatest victories come to those who are willing to be silent and let the situation unfold as it should. This is why silence is the posture of trust. It is a spiritual principle that allows you to align with divine timing. It is a recognition that what is meant for you cannot be taken by another. It is a sign of confidence because the one who knows they are destined for greatness does not need to announce it. They simply walk in it. Noise repels, but silence attracts. One of the greatest misunderstandings in life is the belief that the louder we are, the more attention we will receive. People think that by shouting, demanding, and forcing, they will bring things into their lives. But the truth is, noise does not attract, noise repels. It pushes away what is meant to come naturally. It creates chaos instead of alignment, resistance instead of reception. When you look at the most powerful forces in the world, you will notice they move in silence. Gravity does not make a sound, yet it holds everything in place. The earth rotates without a single noise, yet it governs the seasons. The most beautiful sunrise is seen, not heard. It simply appears, and in its silence it commands attention. This is the principle of attraction. What is truly powerful does not need to announce itself. It simply is. Too often people lose their blessings because they are too loud. They talk too much about their plans before they are fully formed. They expose their dreams to the wrong people. They seek validation instead of trusting the process. But understand this, silence is a magnet. It creates mystery. It builds curiosity. It draws the right opportunities into your life without effort. Have you ever noticed that the most confident person in the room is not the one speaking the loudest? It is the one who listens, observes, and speaks only when necessary. Their silence makes people lean in. Their presence alone commands respect. This is because silence is attractive. It makes people wonder. It makes them curious. It makes them seek you out rather than you chasing them. This is the reason why successful people do not broadcast their every move. They do not reveal their next steps before the time is right. They do not waste words trying to prove themselves. They understand that what is meant for them will find them. And when they do speak, their words carry weight because they have spent time in silence gathering wisdom. Even in relationships, silence is powerful. Desperation is noisy. When you chase after people, they run. When you beg for attention, you push it away. But when you are secure in yourself, when you remain composed, when you trust that what is meant for you will come, you become a magnet. Opportunities, relationships, success, they all gravitate toward those who know how to be still. The moment you stop chasing, you start attracting. The moment you stop explaining yourself to those who do not understand, you free yourself. The moment you stop making noise, you begin to draw in what truly belongs to you. This is the law of attraction in its purest form. Silence is not empty, it is full of power. It makes people pay attention, it creates space for the right things to enter, and it aligns you with what is already on its way to you. The greatest strategies are revealed in stillness. In a world obsessed with movement, we have forgotten the power of stillness. People rush, they react, they chase, thinking that action alone will bring success. But the greatest victories in life are not won by mere movement. They are won by wisdom. And wisdom is only found in stillness. Look at the greatest minds in history. They did not discover their breakthroughs in noise and distraction. They found them in moments of solitude. Moses encountered God on the mountain, not in the crowd. Jesus withdrew to the wilderness to gain strength before his greatest moments. The greatest leaders, inventors, and visionaries understand that clarity comes when the mind is still, not when it is overwhelmed by the noise of the world. Stillness is not laziness, it is preparation. It is in those quiet moments that the best strategies are revealed. The battle is won before the fight even begins, because the one who has taken time to think, to reflect, to plan in silence is already ahead of the one who rushes blindly into action. A lion does not waste energy chasing every movement in the wild. It watches, it waits, it calculates the right moment to strike, and when it moves with precision. This is how the wise operate. They do not react to every situation. They do not speak without purpose. They do not move out of fear or impatience. They wait, and in that waiting, they receive divine revelation. Have you ever noticed that the greatest solutions to your problems come when you stop stressing, when you step away, when you take a breath, when you allow your mind to settle? That is when the answer appears. It is found in silence, not in chaos. It does not compete for your attention. You must be still enough to receive it. This is why those who understand the power of stillness rise above the rest. They do not let distractions dictate their direction. They do not allow the noise of the world to drown out their purpose. They take time to be quiet, to listen, to reflect. And in that stillness, they gain the wisdom and strategies that others miss. Every great warrior prepares before battle. Every great leader pauses before making a critical decision. Every great success is first born in the mind, in the unseen, before it ever becomes reality. Stillness is where vision is formed. It is where the next step is revealed. It is where divine strategy is given. If you want to succeed, do not just move, pause. Do not just react, think. Do not just speak, listen. There is a time to act, but there is first a time to be still, because the one who is patient enough to listen will always be wiser than the one who rushes to speak. The one who plans in silence will always be stronger than the one who moves without direction. The greatest breakthroughs do not come from noise, they come from stillness. Those who know do not need to prove. Insecurity is loud, but confidence is silent. The need to prove oneself comes from doubt. But those who are truly secure in who they are and what they possess do not waste time trying to convince others. They do not argue for their worth. They do not beg for recognition, and they do not seek validation from those who do not understand their value. They simply walk in the truth of what they already know. Look at the most powerful individuals in any field. The greatest leaders do not announce their greatness. They demonstrate it through their actions. The wealthiest people do not wear their riches in loud displays to gain approval. The most knowledgeable do not try to dominate conversations to prove they are the smartest in the room. True power, true intelligence, and true greatness do not seek attention. They attract it naturally. Consider Jesus. He never had to prove who he was. When tempted in the wilderness, Satan said, "If you are the Son of God, turn these stones into bread." But Jesus did not fall for the trap. He did not feel the need to prove anything. He knew who he was, and that was enough. Those who are truly great understand this. Their worth is not determined by how many people recognize them, but by the truth of who they are. The ones who constantly explain themselves, defend their choices, and argue for their value are often those who doubt themselves the most. They feel the need to be seen, to be heard, to be acknowledged, because deep inside they are uncertain. But when you truly know, you rest in that knowing. You do not chase approval because you do not need it. Think about water. The deeper the river, the quieter it flows. But a shallow stream makes noise because it is easily disturbed. This is how people are. Those who lack depth, who lack understanding, who lack true confidence, are the ones who make the most noise. But the wise, the secure, the truly powerful, move in silence. They do not announce every step they take. They do not need applause to validate their direction. They do not need to convince anyone of their worth, because their worth is not up for debate. This is why silence is a sign of strength. The oak tree does not argue with the wind to prove it is strong. It simply stands tall. The eagle does not need to convince other birds that it can soar. It simply flies. And the truly great do not waste their energy trying to prove what is already evident. The moment you stop seeking validation, you free yourself. The moment you realize that you do not need to prove anything to anyone, you step into your power. Those who are meant to see your greatness will see it. Those who are meant to recognize your value will recognize it. And those who do not, they were never your audience to begin with. Patience is the weapon of the wise. In a world that glorifies speed, patience has become an underrated virtue. People want success overnight, recognition instantly, and results without waiting. But anything of real value takes time. A tree does not bear fruit the moment it is planted. A masterpiece is not painted in a day. A strong foundation is not built in haste. The wise understand that patience is not weakness, it is the ultimate strength. Patience separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The impatient settle for whatever comes first, but the patient wait for what is best. The impatient force doors open only to find themselves in the wrong place. The patient know that what is meant for them will come at the right time. They do not rush. They do not panic. They trust. Look at how nature operates. The sun rises and sets on its own schedule. The seasons change in perfect timing. The tides move with precision. Nothing in creation is rushed, yet everything is accomplished. This is because patience aligns with divine timing. When you force something before its time, you disrupt its natural course. But when you trust, when you wait, when you move only when the time is right, everything flows as it should. Most failures are not caused by a lack of talent or opportunity, but by a lack of patience. People quit too soon. They give up because they do not see results fast enough. They compare their journey to others and feel behind. But the truth is, timing is different for everyone. Just because someone else has reached success before you does not mean you are late. Just because your blessing has not arrived yet does not mean it is not on the way. Look at the story of Joseph. He had a dream of greatness, but his journey to the throne was not instant. He was sold into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned. If Joseph had lost patience, if he had given up in the pit or in the prison, he would have never reached the palace. But he endured. He trusted. He waited, and in the right time, everything fell into place. This is why patience is a weapon. It keeps you from making desperate decisions. It protects you from settling for less than what is meant for you. It allows things to unfold naturally, without force, without manipulation, without regret. The impatient move too soon and end up with burdens they were never meant to carry. But the patient wait, and in their waiting, they gain wisdom, strength, and the right opportunity. The moment you stop rushing, you start receiving. The moment you stop forcing, things start aligning. The moment you trust that everything is happening exactly as it should, you find peace. The wise understand that time is not their enemy, it is their ally. What is truly meant for you will never require you to chase. It will come when you are ready, and when it does, you will realize why the wait was necessary. Silence is the language of strength. Power is not always in the words you speak, but in the presence you carry. The strongest people in the world do not need to announce their strength. They do not need to prove themselves with loud declarations. They move in silence, and their actions speak for them. Silence is not emptiness, it is authority. It is the mark of someone who does not need to beg for attention because they already own their space. The world has convinced people that to be seen, they must be loud. To be respected, they must demand recognition. But this is not true power. True power is recognized, not requested. True power is felt, not forced. When you enter a room with confidence, when you walk with purpose, when you listen more than you speak, people take notice. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because your energy speaks before your words ever do. Look at the lion. It does not roar to prove it is a lion. Its presence alone demands respect. It does not chase every battle. It chooses wisely. It observes. It calculates. And when it moves with certainty. This is the essence of strength. It is controlled. It is focused. It does not need to be excessive to be effective. Silence is not just about what you do not say, but about what you choose to say. The loudest person in the room is often the weakest. They speak out of insecurity, out of fear of being ignored. But the one who speaks with wisdom, with precision, with restraint, is the one who is truly heard. Their words carry weight because they are rare, and rare things are valuable. Think about the greatest leaders, the most successful individuals. They are not reckless with their words. They are intentional. They do not argue over every little thing. They do not waste time proving their worth. They do not let emotions dictate their responses. They use silence as a weapon, as a strategy. They know that sometimes saying nothing is more powerful than saying everything. When people insult you, remain silent. When they doubt you, let your results speak. When they expect you to react, choose to stay still. There is strength and restraint and self-control in refusing to be moved by the noise around you. Those who respond to everything end up distracted. Those who engage in every argument lose their focus. But those who remain silent in the right moments hold the greatest power. Your silence protects you. It keeps your plans hidden from those who wish to sabotage them. It keeps your mind clear from unnecessary battles. It keeps your energy reserved for what truly matters. When you learn to be silent, to move without announcing, to let your actions speak louder than your words, you gain an advantage that few people understand. Silence is not weakness. It is the foundation of strength, the mark of a leader, the language of those who truly know who they are. Not everything requires your response. One of the greatest lessons in life is learning what deserves your energy and what does not. People waste their strength fighting battles that do not matter, responding to negativity that does not deserve their attention, and explaining themselves to people who will never understand them. But the wise know that silence is a choice. Restraint is power. And not everything requires a reaction. The moment you realize that your time and energy are limited, you become selective about where you invest them. Every argument, every criticism, every insult is an invitation to lose focus, to become distracted, to step out of alignment with your purpose. But you do not have to accept every invitation. You do not have to engage with everything that tries to pull you in. The strongest people are not those who fight the most battles but those who choose their battles wisely. Look at how Jesus responded when he was falsely accused. When the Pharisees tried to trap him with their words, he did not argue. When he was questioned by Pilate, he remained silent. Why? Because he knew that the truth does not need constant defense. He understood that not every challenge required a response. He knew who he was, and that was enough. The weak are controlled by their emotions. If someone insults them, they feel the need to retaliate. If someone doubts them, they feel the need to prove themselves. If someone disagrees, they feel the need to argue. But the strong are different. They are unmoved by petty attacks. They do not allow small minds to pull them into small conversations. They do not waste time trying to convince people who have already made up their minds. They understand that their energy is too valuable to be spent on meaningless debates. A king does not argue with every critic. A wise person does not explain themselves to those who refuse to listen. There is power in silence. There is wisdom in ignoring. There is strength in choosing peace over unnecessary conflict. This does not mean you let people walk over you. It means you are strategic. You fight the battles that matter. You engage when necessary, but you do not react to every distraction. You do not let small things steal your peace. You do not allow negativity to shift your focus. The greatest test of strength is not how well you fight, but how well you choose when to fight. When you stop responding to everything, you gain control over your life. You stop wasting energy on things that do not serve you. You stop allowing others to dictate your emotions. You stop engaging in battles that do not lead anywhere. Instead, you move with purpose, with wisdom, with clarity. And in that stillness, in that restraint, in that discipline, you find true power. Peace is found in stillness. In a world full of noise, chaos, and constant movement, stillness is a forgotten power. People believe that if they are not always doing something, they are falling behind. If they are not always speaking, they are being ignored. If they are not constantly chasing, they are missing out. But the truth is, real peace, real wisdom, and real breakthroughs come not from doing more, but from learning how to be still. Stillness is not laziness. It is mastery over yourself. It is the ability to quiet the mind when everything around you is loud. It is the strength to stay calm when the world is pressuring you to react. It is the discipline to wait when everything inside you wants to rush forward. The greatest battles are not fought in noise, but in silence. The greatest victories are not won through force, but through patience and stillness. Look at the ocean. When the wind is strong and the storm is raging, the surface is chaotic, full of crashing waves. But deep below, the water remains calm. That is how the wise live. The world around them may be in turmoil, but inside they are still. They are not shaken by every change, not disturbed by every storm. They have found a place within themselves where peace is not dependent on circumstances. It is a decision they have made. This is why stillness is so powerful. It allows you to hear what truly matters. When your mind is too loud, you cannot hear wisdom. When your heart is restless, you cannot make clear decisions. But when you learn to be still, you gain clarity. You see things as they really are, not as your fears and anxieties paint them to be. You stop reacting emotionally and start acting with purpose. Even in battle, the strongest warriors are not the ones who rush forward without thinking. They are the ones who observe, who analyze, who wait for the right moment to strike. The most skilled chess players do not move in haste. They take their time, calculating each step. This is the way of wisdom: movement in stillness, strength in patience, action only when necessary. When you feel overwhelmed, when life seems uncertain, when you do not know the next step, be still. Do not rush to make a decision out of fear. Do not act out of desperation. Let yourself be silent. Let yourself listen. The answer will come. The direction will become clear. Everything you need is already on its way. But if you are too busy running in every direction, you will miss it. Stillness is a sign of trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in divine timing. Trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. It is not about doing nothing. It is about knowing when to move and when to wait. When you learn the power of stillness, you stop chasing and start receiving. You stop fearing and start knowing. And in that stillness, you find a strength that nothing can shake.